Alright, welcome back everybody. Aesop Grim here, and this is the continuation of our second chronicle in Septimus 3, the wabbajack mod list for Skyrim SE.
What comes?
They have a version for Anniversary Edition as well, but I am doing the SE version. So we are here in the Soul Cairn. We're doing Dawnguard content in this episode. There's a ghost right there. Well, there's several of them. There's a second one at least. Okay. Alright, let's go find out what we can find out. Volkahar ruins discovered.
I can't remember how long I've been here. Has it been a day? Or a century?
So this guy had his soul used.
Is there no end to this nightmare? Get out while you can. There's no escape.
Okay, I gotta remember that this is an Elden Ring. We don't have to exhaust dialogue. Soul harvested. Oh, I filled a black soul gem. Oh, wow. Well, I don't know if that was an innocent soul or not. So I'm not terribly comfortable with that.
Why can't I just die? I fear I'm cursed to walk this desolate land forever.
Oh man, this is kind of sad.
I wonder if the fire's still burning in the Imperial City.
Black Chapel discovered. That was probably a bit of an Easter egg of a nugget. If I knew the lore well enough, I would have an idea of how long she's been here, I think. But unfortunately, I do not. If any of you do, feel free to put that into the comments below so other viewers know as well. Okay, this thing's locked up. I don't see anything obvious for getting it to unlock, at least not right here.
A soul gem. That's what it was. Then I must be... Oh no.
I think I'm going to not harvest that, because I don't know if I'm getting a bad guy soul or just some innocent who was lost down here. Okay, let's go over here to... I don't know, the buildings here, where the structure is at. More gems that can be harvested right here, souls. Along that fissure. The Black Gatehouse discovered. Gold. Okay. Oh.
What have you got? Come on!
We got them all? What's going on with me? Uh-oh, I'm being leeched. I'll take that, and that's definitely causing a problem for me. Steel arrow. Take that. What's a soul husk? Food? It counts as food. Gross. Don't knock it till you try it. What? I don't need to try everything to know whether or not that appeals to me or not. Let's, okay, so that thing is periodically draining me. And, I didn't see... We knocked down more skeletons in that, but... Grab that, grab the soul husk. Who knows, maybe it sells well. Okay. Let's investigate. Raid Gibbs Opus. Tracking what I called a lingerer, a cliff racer without a nest. He was a particularly feisty one, too, leading me on a merry chase across almost 3 miles of ash dunes. I had managed to take a piece out of one of his wings in an earlier scuffle, so he couldn't maintain much of a climb. But he still had quite a bit of stamina left, and he was trying to make me tire of the chase. Almost 2 solid hours passed, and my silt... There's no more pages. Take that. Uh-oh. Hold on. Get out. Hold on.
You all right?
No, I'm not. Just grab all that. Okay. That didn't seem to allow me to really do anything. Can I not grab the... Huh. Okay, well, I guess we gotta go. I know I picked up a Daedra heart. Alright, I think that's all I can discover there. So, Daedra heart, maybe that guy was being lured. He was a hunter, and he was being lured into a trap, perhaps. Because the Daedra will do mean things like that to people. They like to play tricks in games. The Daedra make me think of how the Greeks used to write about some of their gods. They were capricious, right? They just toyed with people. Okay, what's in that tower over there? Steps of the barrier wall discovered.
I wonder if my family misses me.
No.
I wonder if they're still alive. How much time has passed?
Page 1 of his opus. I am a hunter, I am a redeemer, I am Giub. The tale of my rise to glory begins in the ash wastes of Morrowind. I rode alone, weapon at my side, and the burning wind stinging my face. My quest was arduous, but necessary to ensure the survival of the Dunmer people. A pestilence was creeping across the ashlands. Heaven's Arc Point discovered. Greater Soul Gem. Black Monastery discovered.
Get out while you can.
Oh, another soul gem up the giant soul gem. I'm gonna call those leechers for right now.
Only those who have suffered long can find the light within the shadows.
Oh man. So it's like a purgatory?
Get out while you can.
I'm really glad I got the restoration skill. I could see non-resto people spending a lot of potions in a place like this. Okay, I'm just now noticing, I guess I got caught up in the exploration, but I do have a quest marker. Oh, that place looks pretty neat. So that quest marker points me in this direction. Ah, here we go. Okay, get on the other side of this wall. The barrier wall discovered, and there's a whole new section of this place to explore. Oh, spectral steed over there.
At least the pain is gone.
Boop, 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 boop. Maybe I should perimeter check this thing. That sounds like it might. Take that.
Is that it?
Ah.
I don't think so.
How do I get into there?
Can't believe you're alive.
Aha! You in trouble now, son.
I've danced with things quite better than you. Send you to your rest.
Huh. Can't open it, huh? Can't open it even from this side. Alright. Alright, so that place has been explored. What else do we have? Well, we got a lot. We got an objective out there. I'm kind of following this wall. Tabernacle of the Ideal Masters, Keeper 1 discovered. Alright, I'll come back to this because I think the Ideal Masters were who we were looking for. Cemetery Gatehouse 3 discovered. Cemetery altar is discovered.
Die! I'll cut you down. That'll teach you. That's the last of them.
Okay. I want to make sure I get everything. Cemetery Gatehouse 1 discovered. This was, I think, Gatehouse 3. Nope, that's Gatehouse 2. Okay, so that must be Gatehouse 3. That's Gatehouse 5. We're at Gatehouse 1. This is 2. Let's find out what this is. Ideal Masters Keeper 1. This should be Gatehouse 3. Yeah. There's Gatehouse 4, okay. And then I've been to the 5th one. Which I think was this guy. Yeah. Okay. Starting right here, I want to investigate these gems and go down the line. Maybe not here. Yeah, might as well. Black Minister discovered.
I'm not gonna die like this. Come on! Hardly a challenge.
Whoa. Okay. Teleported. I'm getting leeched pretty hard. And I'm suffering a heavy hit to my magicka right now. Is there anything else? There we go. Minutes, but I finally managed to do it. As my eyes adjusted to the dim light of my new surroundings, I realized that I was surrounding before Lord Vivek himself, standing before Lord Vivek himself. He was simply staring at me, floating above his throne and staring at me with his piercing eyes. When I began to prostrate myself, as a sign of respect, he held up one of his hands as if to say it wasn't necessary. Was I dead? Was Lord Vivek pleased with me? Was he... And I'm almost certain that is what I needed to be up there for. So from here, I apologize for the lightning, guys. I don't know how loud that is for you. It's pretty loud in my ears. Okay, I'm stuck inside again. What? Seven soul husks. I need to fill my weapon up. Okay. So I got that one. This is basically, I'm going to establish this as my end point, so I know I start again right there, or maybe over there. But let's work our way back to where we, along the perimeter, and back over to where we came in at, and make sure that we get all of the stuff that there is along these, I guess, walls, these spirit walls. Okay, nothing to be found there. Wow. Well, that's impressive looking. Okay. Nothing in that tower. This was the Keeper, right? Keeper 1. Yeah, Keeper 1. Okay, so my bearings are correct. Alright, so we gotta go into here to get to there, I think. This dude looks unfriendly.
I'm not gonna die like this. Even that psycho's dog would be more of a
Huh. Okay. Alright, do I have my dragon shout? Yes, but it didn't let me use it. Okay, and then over here, what's affecting me? Oh man, I got brain rot. Progresses to severe brain rot. And I have severe rock joint and ataxia. Picking locks and picking pockets is harder. 50% less effective with melee weapons. We got a bunch of stuff. So let's cure disease. That didn't seem to help me with the brain rot. Or, no, excuse me, it did. But I'm still showing a malice. Yeah, I'm still showing a malice. What up with that? Am I hungry or something? Blessing of RK. Oh, we're not getting, maybe because of where we're at. She had to kill us. So I'm not getting benefits from food and sleep. I guess. Armor rating increased 100. Blessing of RK is active. Warrior Stone is still active. Okay. What's transmundane? You do not need food, rest, or warmth while in this otherworldly area. Gotcha. That's Rana, right? Yeah. Okay, what do we have over here? They're still fighting that skeleton. Aha. I think I was looking for this. That's the one that I checked out. The one I'm looking for, I kind of thought it would be here. How'd you get up here? She must have walked over that. Okay, so... Boom, 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 down there. So, I think it put me up here. Maybe I need to hop over the wall. And use my compass. Southwest is the direction that the gem is. Well, there it is. So we got to get through here somehow. Okay, right there. Where are you gonna... Oh, this one's different. I think this is a different place. Okay, stairs to over there. Your magic had almost no impact on me. That was awesome. Okay. What do we got here? Staff of the Frost Atronach. Soul Husk. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna drop off right here. And before I go down those stairs, I want to look here. This is the gate where they were fighting, right? Yeah. Those bars look a little different. Okay. I'm kind of stuck. Ah, there we go. Reaper grass fragment? Well, I was expecting to find part of the journal, one of the pages. But that doesn't appear to be up here, so we'll go ahead and get out of here. Okay, so I think I have discovered everything that I wanted to along this leg. I didn't seem to find a way up that tower. I didn't even really see an entrance. Guess that's the one last thing I can double check on before we move on. Tower's right forward and to my left. Okay, this is the tower. We're walking its perimeter now. Ah, well, I was already up here. I think. No, I was down there. Okay. I'm not seeing an entrance into this. So I think we're done. And we can move on to the next leg of this area. Tower. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Okay. Let's go ahead and get out of this. Okay, I've already seen that one. Let's try and grab this one here, and then we will move to there. The dark battlements discovered. Okay, I'm getting leeched.
Finally, a good challenge.
Serana skeleton. Oh, okay. Serana rezzed that skeleton. That's my bad, Serana.
This place tears at me as though I was drawn and cornered. I can't stand it anymore.
Getting leeched by that.
All I want in life is the spear and my spear systems.
Uh-oh. I am stuck. Ah, shoot, man. This is... I might have to put you guys on pause and do every ounce of this again. Ah, sweet. I better quick save it then. My goodness. I don't see anything that teleports me this time. Wandering soul.
Death is but a door. Time is but a window.
Okay. Well, this kind of bothers me. It seems I am missing something. But I guess I'm gonna go ahead and give up on that for now. It certainly feels like I'm missing something. But c'est la vie. I think this was the other area I wanted to check out. We got something underground here.
Look out!
The Black Bethel discovered. Okay. getting leeched. Okay, that's where we were. I couldn't get to that one. These are all the various, I think they were called gates 1 through 5. Have I been at that one? Dead ahead, I'm not sure. This is the Black Mausoleum. I don't remember being here. Although it didn't say that I discovered it, so maybe I have. Oh, that's right. Okay, this is the one where I had to get on here and then hop over. Okay. Sorry about that. There's that steed again. Okay, that's the one I couldn't get to. This is the one I had to go underground to reach. So then we're off to this area. And my destination is over there. Black Gatehouse 4. I thought I had already discovered Black Gatehouse 4. Maybe that reduced magicka is the effect that Serana said that I would suffer from. Black Folly discovered. Taking one more look. Okay, see, I haven't been here. Okay, but I have been up here. There was no dragon word on that wall, or no, I would have heard it. Okay. Okay then. Out of here. This direction now. The boneyard discovered.
Mother!
It can't be. Serana?
Is it really you? I can't believe it. How do we get inside? We have to talk.
Serana, what are you doing here? Where's your father?
He doesn't know we're here. I don't have time to explain.
I must have failed. Harkon's found a way to decipher the prophecy, hasn't he?
No, you've got it all wrong. We're here to stop him. To make everything right.
Wait a moment. You've brought a stranger here? Have you lost your mind?
No, you don't...
You, come forward. I would speak with you. So how has it come to pass that a vampire hunter is in the company of my daughter? It pains me to think you'd travel with Serana under the guise of her protector in an effort to hunt me down.
Yeah, that would actually be particularly insidious. I could see what's his name? Isidore doing that. This is no ruse. I want to keep her safe. I've saved her from your foolish plan. I'm just here for the Elder Scroll. Let's go number one.
Coming from one who murders vampires as a trade,
Yeah,
I find it hard
and
to
with
believe
good
your
reason.
intentions are noble.
Get off your
Serana
high
has
horse.
sacrificed everything to prevent Harkon from completing the prophecy. I would have expected her to explain that to you.
That's why I'm here for the Elder Scroll.
You think I'd have the audacity to place my own daughter in that tomb for the protection of her Elder Scroll alone?
So it's
The
her blood.
scrolls are merely a means to an end. The key to the tyranny of the sun is Serana herself.
What do you mean?
When I fled Castle Volkahar, I fled with 2 Elder Scrolls. The scroll I presume you found with Serana speaks of Auriel and his arcane weapon, Auriel's bow.
Yes.
The second scroll declares that the blood of Cold Harbor's daughter will blind the eye of the dragon.
Blind the eye of the dragon. Okay. Well, and how does Serana fit in? Well, that's how she fits in. She just told you.
Like myself, Serana was a human once. We were devout followers of Lord Molig Bal. Tradition dictates the females be offered to Molig Bal on his summoning day. Few survive the ordeal. Those that do emerge as a pure-blooded vampire. We call such confluences the Daughters of Cold Harbor.
The tyranny of the sun requires Serana's blood. Serana underwent this ritual willingly. I doubt it. Let's start from the bottom up.
It's what some call the domain of Molig Bal. His place in oblivion. It was expected of her, just as it was expected of me. Being selected as an offering to Molig Bal is an honor. She wouldn't have dared turn her back on that. Now you're beginning to see why I wanted to protect Serana, and why I've kept the other Elder Scroll as far from her as possible.
Okay, are you saying Harkon means to kill her?
If Harkon obtained Auriel's bow, and Serana's blood was used to taint the weapon, the tyranny of the sun would be complete. In his eyes, she'd be dying for the good of all vampires.
Okay, I can see that. That's cold-hearted, but I can see it. I would never allow that to happen.
And how exactly do you plan on stopping him?
Kill Harkon.
If you believe that, then you're a bigger fool than I originally suspected. Don't you think I weighed that option before I enacted my plans?
I do. That's why I'm kind of probing to find out what else you know here. And Serana's opinion in this?
You care nothing for Serana, or our plight. Whether or not you've become one of us in order to survive the Soul Cairn, you're still a vampire hunter at heart. You're here because we're abominations in your mind. Evil creatures that need to be destroyed.
I mean, I could list a whole laundry. We could go through the laundry list of the abominable things that your people do. That doesn't necessarily mean that we gotta purge everybody. I don't know. There seems to be something going on here. But, don't sit here and try to explain to me about how vampires are good and noble creatures. Serana believes in me, why won't you? Sure.
Serana, this stranger aligns himself with those that would hunt you down and slay you like an animal. Yet I should entrust you to him.
This stranger has done more for me in the brief time I've known him than you've done in centuries.
How dare you? I gave up everything I cared about to protect you from that fanatic you call a father.
Yes, he's a fanatic. He's changed. But he's still my father. Why can't you understand how that makes me feel?
Serana, if you'd only open your eyes. The moment your father discovers your role in the prophecy, that he needs your blood, you'll be in terrible danger.
So to protect me, you decided to shut me away from everything I cared about. You never asked me if hiding me in that tomb was the best course of action. You just expected me to follow you blindly. Both of you were obsessed with your own paths. Your motivations might have been different, but in the end, I'm still just a pawn to you two. I want us to be a family again. But I don't know if we can ever have that. Maybe we don't deserve that kind of happiness. Maybe it isn't for us. But we have to stop him, before he goes too far. And to do that, we need the Elder Scroll.
I'm sorry, Serana. I didn't know. I didn't see. I've allowed my hatred of your father to estrange us for too long. Forgive me. If you want the Elder Scroll, it's yours. Your intentions are still somewhat unclear to me, but for Serana's sake, I'll assist you in any way that I can.
Yeah, no judgment from this side, because I kind of made the same mistake. I just blurted out, well, kill Harkon, of course, and then we all just found out that Serana's like, that's my dad. I don't care what our relationship status is. You jacking with my emotions on this. That's what it seems like. All right, do you have the Elder Scroll with you?
Yes. I've kept it safely secured here ever since I was imprisoned. Fortunately, you're in a position to breach the barrier that surrounds these ruins.
She was imprisoned. I thought she hid herself away. All right, what do we need to do?
You need to locate the tallest of the rocky spires that surround these ruins. At their bases, the barrier's energy is being drawn from unfortunate souls that have been exiled here. Destroy the keepers that are tending them, and it should bring the barrier down.
Okay. We'll return soon.
One more word of warning. There's a dragon that calls itself Durnavir roaming the cairn. Be wary of him.
That sucks.
The Ideal Masters have charged him with overseeing the Keepers, and will undoubtedly intervene if you're perceived as a threat.
Why haven't you pursued the prophecy? If I leave the Soul Cairn, can I safely return? How did you become imprisoned here? Oh yeah, number 3.
When I entered the Soul Cairn, I had intended to strike a bargain with the Ideal Masters.
Oh, they
custodians of this
imprisoned you.
place.
That makes sense. What was the bargain?
I requested refuge in the Soul Cairn, and in exchange, I would provide the Ideal Masters the souls that they craved.
Ugh.
If I had foreseen the value they placed on my own soul, I would never have come here.
They tricked you.
The Ideal Masters unleashed their keepers and sent them to destroy me. Fortunately, I was able to hold them at bay and retreat into these ruins.
Nice. So she became trapped, though, as a result.
Unfortunately, yes. Since the Keepers weren't able to claim my soul, they had their minions construct a barrier that I'd never be able to breach.
You've been imprisoned here for all this time?
Time has very little meaning to me. Consequently, it has little meaning to the Ideal Masters as well. I suppose you could call this the ultimate waiting game, each watching the other to see which will give in.
Yeah. Alright, that's neat. Who are the Ideal Masters?
I know very little about them. They're mystic entities that lord over the soul cairn, controlling every aspect from its fabric to its appearance.
What do they resemble?
Well, some necromancers believe they are the crystalline structures dotting the soul cairn. I believe there's more to it than that.
And how so?
I think they transcend what we perceive as a physical form. Perhaps they were once corporeal beings, but they've obviously reached a point where they no longer require a tangible presence.
And the crystals?
Conduits, through which the Ideal Masters speak to their underlings and feed on their victims.
And why would they require sustenance? Oh. I wonder if the crystalline structures are the fissures that I'm able to mine. Why would they require sustenance?
The Ideal Masters' weakness is their insatiable hunger for pure souls. It's the reason for the soul cairn's existence, and the only leverage a necromancer has when bargaining.
And what do the Masters provide in return?
The ability to summon powerful undead guardians, as one would conjure an Atronak or Daedra. However, the majority of necromancers that are foolish enough to enter into a bargain with the Ideal Masters wind up here as harvested souls.
Ah, okay. Why haven't you pursued the prophecy?
Harkon's vision is a world plunged in eternal darkness, where the vampire can flourish and never again fear the tyranny of the sun. What he fails to realize is how much attention would be called to our kind if the prophecy came to fruition.
What sort of attention? Yeah, my kind of attention.
If eternal night fell, there are many who wouldn't stand for it. They would raise armies in attempts to return things to normal. The order of the day would be our destruction, until every last vampire was hunted down and eliminated.
So you prefer living in the shadows?
I do. It's how the vampire has survived for millennia, and the only way we can continue to survive in the future.
If I leave the soul cairn, can I safely return?
As you've been traveling in the soul cairn, your body has become attuned to it. Let's just say a tiny part of you rubbed off on it, and in its place, a bit of the soul cairn filled the void. You should find no difficulty using the portal any longer.
Okay.
Be careful, and keep my daughter safe.
So, her name was Valerica, so that's probably going to go into the title of the video. Let's go ahead and save it. Save. And in the next episode, we will be embarking on that mission that she gave us. Try and get this barrier down. Alright guys, again, I'm Aesop Grimm. Thank you for coming by the channel. I hope you like what you saw. More importantly, I hope all is well in your neck of the woods. And I will see you in the next episode where this story continues.